don't really remember too much of the head coaches being the stars of the show the way that Campbell was, and really the coaches in general on this first episode. It wasn't just Campbell. It was Aaron Glenn. It was Deuce. It was Mark Brunell. It was, it was all of them. And they really got into it about how all of our head coaches are 80 years combined of NFL experience between them as players, not even talking about them as their coaching careers, just as players having that much experience. It was just a lot of fun to get into that aspect. Obviously the rookies and stuff they made Hutch do and stuff, and Malcolm Rodriguez with his dance and everything. That was all cool too. But I mean, to me, really, episode 1 just set the tone with the coaches, which made it a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Did I hear it right? Did Mark Brunell say he was in 19 seasons in the NFL?
I think you did hear that right. That man been around for a while as a backup before a starter, and then back to a backup after his, height of his career was done. That man been in the league for a long time.
I know, but 19, that's just a preposterous amount of years. Good for him, though. And now he's our quarterback's coach. So
yeah.
I hope he can help Jared Goff and whoever our next quarterback might be.
Yeah, I hope it can really help whoever it is next year. But it was, and them being former players is what made it so much fun. If these were just guys that have been nothing but coaches their entire NFL careers, we wouldn't care as much. But you see these names, and then you think back to Antoine Randall throwing the touchdown pass to Hines Ward in Detroit in the Super Bowl against Seattle, one of the worst Super Bowls of all time. But that particular play is one of my favorite in Super Bowl history.
Rigged Super Bowl.
Not.
Took it away from... Yes, it was. Big Ben didn't score that touchdown. He's on the ground.
Oh, I know. Oh, I appreciate that.
He gets to put the trash.
But no, so getting to, and they're talking about Deuce and they're showing some Deuce stuff. And they're talking about Aaron Glenn and they're showing Aaron Glenn stuff. So it was a heck of a lot of fun to see that with our coaches. And it's nice that we have these coaches that we can connect to because of their playing years. And watching them as head coaches in this first episode, or head coaches, you know what I mean? Watching them as position coaches in this episode was eye-opening because we don't get to see that. Obviously, we see the players play. You don't really focus much on the sidelines and seeing what the coaches are doing unless they're yelling at one of the players. But so getting to see that was a lot of fun. And then seeing that player fight inside of them still when you're talking about Aaron Glenn and Deuce going back and forth. It was that part. I was laughing at that part and enjoying that part more than any part of the first episode of Hard Knocks. Watching AG and Deuce go at it, and they love each other. You could tell, but man, when they're going at it, and the offense hit a good play on the defense, and Deuce is giving it to him, and then the defense stopped the screen, and Deuce is like, "Oh, you stopped the screen! Oh, you stopped the screen! Like, yeah, keep talking because you stopped the screen. Good job!" Like that was so much fun.
Yeah, and given the talent on the offense and the defense, I have to imagine that Deuce Staley is getting the better of that matchup, way more often than not. It was fun though, and I think I'm gonna root for Aaron Glenn. I like an underdog. I don't think he's gonna win very many of those matchups, but I hope we get more of that. I hope we get more of some of the players going back and forth because that's the one thing that I feel like we really didn't see. We saw some dust up, some scrap, whatever you want to call it. But I would like to see players go back and forth like that. Like a receiver in a corner or something like that.
Yeah, and I think
offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
And I think we're going to see obviously more of that going forward. They really set the tone with this first one as far as let's get the big names out of the way, and really a lot of the big names are coaches on our sidelines. So let's get that out of the way. And I think going forward, these next 4 episodes, we're going to obviously it's going to have to be because we're going to be talking about guys making the team, getting cut, whatnot. Position battles going on, and who's going to be a starter, who's going to be backup, who's going to be practice squad, all of that. So we're going to get that going forward. So I think they did the right thing with not focusing so much on that in this first episode. Let's lay the land out there for everybody. These are names who are now head coaches for the Detroit Lions, and their personalities, that they've had for a long time, and we've seen these guys. And now I think going forward, it's going to be the position battles, and it's going to be focused more on the players because we didn't see too much on the players. You saw an emotional speech by Jamal Williams. That was great. You saw Hutch and Penei Sewell going back and forth. That was great. and Panay giving Hutch his props on a move that he did on him that he wasn't expecting. He thought he was just going to bull him, and Hutch, stopped his momentum and then went a different route about it. Like, that was very cool to see, and obviously I think we're going to see a lot more of that kind of stuff going forward.
Yeah, I hope so. They had the Hawkinson chip block on Aiden, which he wasn't expecting, and I just hope we get to see more of that. I hope we get to see some of these like position battles that you mentioned for who's going to be the starter. Not that we're going to see everything on Hard Knocks, but hopefully we can see some kind of inside or information on that more than you would when the official depth chart comes out and Will Harris is listed above Okuda or something like that. And you're like, oh, I wonder what happened. Usually you don't get to see it. So that's what I'm looking forward to in the further episodes of Hard Knocks. And then just more of the team kind of bonding stuff too, right? They had the rookies up there hazing them, making them sing songs,
and say their signing bonus.
I hope there's more. Yeah. Yeah, it was $23 million against like 100,000 or something, with Hutchinson and Rodriguez. But I hope we just get to see more of that. See like what these players are like, and show some more of their personalities other than the coach. And it seems like we're probably going to get a healthy dose of Aiden Hutchinson, as well as Jamal Williams, and then just kind of see who could be like that breakout star. So I think that's what I'm most excited to see, is the team bonding and then the position battles that, again, we just usually don't get a good look into.
Yeah, and we really didn't – they really didn't focus much on individual players at all. We saw a bunch on Hutch, obviously, and we had a feeling coming into it we would. He's the hometown kid who went to the University of Michigan. His whole family went to the University of Michigan, and then he stayed and became a Detroit Lion, which he was a fan of his entire life as a kid. Poor bastard. But so – I was expecting to see that. And then obviously a little bit with him and Sewell going back and forth, with Sewell being the top pick last year, and it's worth mentioning and everything. But we didn't see Paschal. We didn't see much of Rodriguez outside of the dancing and the hazing. We didn't see Houston or any of these other picks that they were talking about. I think they showed Jameson Williams for a hot second, on the sideline, but he's not doing much right now. And so we didn't really get to see the draft picks players. We didn't really get to see the second-year players or third-year players, anything like that. They were really just kind of focusing on laying the land with the coaches, and of course they're going to throw some of the bigger stars out there, being Hutch, being Panay Sewell, and then obviously with Jamal Williams being such a passionate and such a character that he's just good TV, and I think HBO knows that from stuff we've seen in games past and pressers past. So, but we're definitely going to get more knowledge on these players, hopefully starting next week.
Yeah, and kind of a shocking lack of Jared Goff. You saw him in the crowd, I guess, when they were doing the Billie Jean and then the Malcolm Rodriguez dancing scene. But other than that, I don't know that you heard Jared Goff say a single word throughout that entire throughout that entire 45 minutes, hour, or whatever it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a part and I just missed it, or it's blank in my head. But I don't really remember hearing Jared Goff's voice even a little bit.
It really wasn't. He wasn't the focus, and I don't know if that's going to be the.
He wasn't even a part of it though. He's just not the focus. Right. That wasn't even a part of it.
Yeah,
he's the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's going to change. Obviously, he's got to be a part of it. But I don't think he should be the focus. Generally, if Jared Goff is the focus, it's not for a good thing throughout his career. It's generally been, he's kind of in the shadows doing what when he's playing well and the team's doing well. In the past teams with the Rams that he was on, he wasn't the focus. It was, it was Todd Gurley that was the focus. It was the defense, Aaron Donald, and that was the focus. And so with him being the focus, I don't know how much we want to see of that. I'd love to see his personality, obviously, and get to know that side of him, because we really don't. But I think that going forward, he's going to be more involved. He's got to be, like you said, he's the quarterback. But I don't think I personally don't think he should be the focus of Hard Knocks going forward.
He shouldn't be the focus, but you gotta get him in there somehow.
No, I agree.
Hey, Ryan Griffin here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Griffin and Bass. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to click the bell to receive the latest notifications from DSN and subscribe for breaking news, community blogs, polls, contests, and other content.